and just want to let everybody know how grateful I am that we have this gathering. I, of course, want to thank David Cathcart of Emerson is here, who's got a great haircut like I do, and the New Jersey SOS Veteran Stakeholders Group. All of you, I just want to thank you for your leadership, your continued a partnership, and your determination to continue to help us to improve and improve and improve. I'm grateful for Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill, who is just an extraordinary leader here. I'm grateful for the congressman who represents my home community in Bergen County. Josh Gottheimer is on. I know Congressman Malinowski is going to come on soon. I want to say that I'm happy to see Senator Orojo, who is also here, State Senator Orojo, and I appreciate it. That's why I got these glasses on so I could see everybody in my gallery view, and I'm just grateful. Today we are here for a purpose. And we know that when we are gathering together for the high purpose of serving our veterans, it is one of the best things we can do to show our deep gratitude, our deep appreciation. For me and my family, I had parents that constantly reminded me of the sacrifices that had to happen to get our family the kind of security, opportunity, and liberty that we enjoyed. They, of course, mentioned things like the March on Washington or the Selma March and civil rights leaders, but they also knew and recognized that our nation is secure and safe and strong because of our veterans. And it's something that was very important in our house. And my parents told me all my life, my mom still tells me now, you can't pay those folks back. You got to pay it forward by working every single day for the unsung heroes of our country, for Americans whose names don't show up often on TV, but for them, we would not be here. And so we are here today to talk about how we can make things better. And I'm just grateful that I am with a group of people that are proven in their ability to come together, stand together, work together, and achieve together. And I think the CBOC in Sussex County, that experience for me really showed me about what it means to be a part of this coalition and what we can accomplish together. It's something I'm really, really proud of. And so there are an agenda, and I'm dedicated really to seeing this, that our service members receive the benefits from this nation in our state. We know that service members really across New Jersey, but specifically in Morris, Sussex, Warren, and Hunterdon counties are facing numerous barriers to getting the care and well-being that they deserve. And in this coronavirus pandemic, it's really added and compounded a lot of these challenges. For the 36,000 veterans residing in those 4 counties, access to VA vet center services is limited, with folks having to travel over an hour to receive necessary mental health and counseling services from the VA vet centers located in Secaucus or Bloomfield. That is not acceptable. It should not be the standard that we have for our valued vets. And so vet centers, we know what they are. They're called the VA's best kept secret. They are extremely popular service and service providers, I should say, for our veterans, for service members, for reservists, for members of the National Guard, for their families. VA vet centers are really so important in New Jersey and across the nation. I hear this from veterans all over our country. And so I'm really honored to be able to join with Congresswoman Sherrill, Congressman Gottheimer, Congressman Malinowski, and just urging the VA Secretary McDonough to establish a 6th vet center in New Jersey, in Morris or Sussex County. This is the mission, this is the goal, and I'm glad that we've come together in coalition for that. Caring for our nation's veterans will always be one of the most sacred responsibilities we have. And while we have made progress in our state because of coalitions like this, we still have so much left to do. And so I want to thank those who are gathered together on this call today. I want to thank you for engaging in this mission that we share. And I know there's a lot of veterans here who've sacrificed so much, but what inspires me about veterans is even when they're done with their direct military service, they never stop serving other veterans and this nation as a whole. And so I look forward to our continued partnership and hopefully for us seeing us, I believe, in us seeing us accomplish this goal. So I'll turn it back over to you, Dave, and just thank you.
Dave, you're muted.
The next speaker is a great partner of ours also. You know, we've come to love her, work with her. We know nobody in Washington fights more for women veterans than this person. She's partnered with one of our partners, Lucy Delgadio, and trying to do a lot of things for women veterans, but not just that, but just trying to get justice for people that so deserve it. We've met her right from the beginning, right from when she took office. She's a Navy helicopter pilot, a veteran, Committee of Armed Services. She's a stakeholders partner. She's at the forefront of women veteran advocacies, and we love her. And I'm going to give you Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill.
Well, thank you so much. It is so great to be here. I had to smile because before everyone came on to the Zoom, Emerson was saying, my texts are blowing up. People are ready to start. I love the military precision. That's not always how Congress works. I miss it. So it's great to see all of you. Thank you so much, Senator, for helping advocate for this. And you know, I've really been so impressed with all of the advocacy and work you've done for veterans and for our women veterans. And thank you, David. You and the SOS Vet stakeholders have done so much to improve the lives of veterans, whether it's our women's veterans or getting the CBOC. You just really have been so instrumental in taking care of veterans in our district. So I sincerely appreciate it. And thank you for bringing this extremely urgent need to us. I also just want to thank Representatives Malinowski and Gottheimer, who are great partners in the delegation, as well as our state, county, and local electeds and the veteran community leaders who are joining us today, not only from NJ11, but from the broader area, including our senators. I know we have Senator Orhos, Senator Bucco, Senator Corrado. I know Governor Cody's office is represented. Thank you so much to Assemblyman Space, Worths, to Sussex County Commissioner Yardley for joining us, and to our commissioners from Warren, as well as a number of mayors. I know Mayor Zahaki, Mayor Conley, and Mayor Grayzell are on, so I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone. I've been flipping through the screen, but thank you. It just shows you how critical and important this issue is across the district and across North Jersey. So I really appreciate everyone taking the time for this important discussion about the critical VA vet centers and how critical they are to the veterans in our community. We want to make sure that the VA has the resources it needs to best serve our New Jersey veterans. And here in Northwest Jersey, it's been a little bit lacking. It's going to take all of us to make this a reality, and we're going to be following up with you about the ways you can support this effort. I know Senator Orho's already working on a resolution of support. Thank you so much for that. But everybody's got to get involved to push this through. So I'm grateful we have such an impressive panel to talk about what our vet centers do. Some people call them the VA's best kept secret. I want to let everybody here in on the secret so we can push hard to get one here. And talk about how they fit in with the rest of the VA system and what resources they need to continue to be successful in the future. I'm eager to hear from the veterans joining us today about their personal experiences, which really speak to how vital and important these facilities are in our community. So I want to recognize the counselors and staff at the Bloomfield and Secaucus Vet Centers, where veterans from my district most often go for services. Thank you for the heroic work you've done through the pandemic. I know that even with the surge in demand and the shift to remote counseling due to COVID, you've worked aggressively to make sure every veteran gets seen, and you've fought to maintain the long-running client relationships and to preserve your high quality of service. So even in these challenging times, I know you've worked day after day to serve every veteran. It's incumbent on us to fight for the resources and capacity you need to make sure every veteran has access to vet center services, from a counselor that's local to them, that they can see regularly in person within driving distance right here in New Jersey. So as a founding member of the Service Women and Women Veterans Congressional Caucus, I'm especially appreciative of the work that our vet centers do to support survivors of military sexual trauma. including providing childcare services and operating hours that are unavailable at our VA. I'm committed to making sure that the vet centers have the resources to serve everyone in need of this vital service. Unfortunately, an estimated 1 in 4 female veterans and 1 in 100 male veterans in the VA healthcare system report experiencing MST. It's important to note that by percentage, all women are at greater risk of MST, but nearly 40% of the veterans who disclose MST to the VA are men. So the pandemic has brought many long-standing issues to light, and there's never been a greater need for accessible, effective mental health treatment. So it's important to keep adding resources to ensure that no one is ever turned away or denied service. I'm glad we're all here together, and I look forward to making sure our veterans have the access to the vet center services that they need. So now I'm going to pass it back to David, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, Congresswoman. With our next speaker, again, is a partner of our stakeholders group. He's done wonderful things in the 5th District. One of the things that sticks out in my mind, and I mentioned Tony Galappo before, is that this person pushed for better services for the CBOC to make sure that different services were, available in Sussex County through the Mission Act. And with that, I want to give you Congressman Josh Gottheimer.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you, and thank you for organizing this. And I can't thank everyone for coming together enough. I mean, what an incredible showing of energy here for such a critical mission. I do want to thank Cory, who, as you know, is not just our senator, but as he mentioned before, comes from my district. So he basically is a permanent resident of the district and always has a home there. Mikie, thank you so much for your leadership. And I know Tom's coming momentarily, Malinowski, who does a great job as well for our veterans. And David, I hope everyone recognizes, I think we all do, your incredible leadership. You've been a partner in not just support, but ideas for so many years for all of us in the district. And I do want to thank David who's the former director of the VA Center in Secaucus, and Emerson for your excellent work and leadership, as Mikie mentioned. And George, thank you so much for what you do. Feo and John Gura for your excellent work. And as Mikie said, all of our local officials have come out. Steve Orho is playing the role of Johnny Cash today. It's great to see him, but I know that Senator Corrado and Bucco are on as well. Thank you guys so much for coming, and some in Space and Worths and Commissioner Yardley, thank you. And Mayor Dixon from Newton, I know, and if I'm missing any other local officials from my district, I'm really sorry about that. Mikie gave me the full list, so if she missed somebody, we'll just go to her on that one. Frankly, I'm here because I think we all agree. I know everyone on this call, but this is something that when I talk to anybody in my district, any family member, that the number one priority that we all have to look out for in Washington are those who get our backs. And whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're an active duty service member, or whether you're a veteran who gave so much in our country to protect the flag that we all salute every day, I think the least we can do in Washington is make sure that we wake up every day and think about you and do everything we can to make sure that veterans get what they need and deserve when they come back, and those who protected our great country. In the 5th District, we're home to more than 28,000 brave veterans, and standing up for all of them, to me, is a critical part of the oath of my office. The pandemic, I think, has really highlighted the vulnerabilities in our healthcare, including the tragic and unacceptable failure at the state-run Veterans Home in Paramus and Menlo Park, an issue many of us have been working very hard on. We must do everything we can to ensure all Americans, especially our veterans, get the proper care they deserve. And veterans' health, and particularly mental health, has been one of my top priorities in the work in the 5th District. Dave, you mentioned the CBOC, but that's an area that I've been focused on, frankly, beyond the CBOC, but just looking generally of what we do about this. You mentioned our dear friend Tony, and without getting choked up about it, I mean, those of us who got to know Tony so well, he was just the greatest partner you could ask for in this fight for veterans. And I got to love him like a brother. It's hard to believe he's gone. I don't know if all you were feeling, those of you who knew Tony feel the same way. He was such a compassionate guy and had so much life and brought so much energy to everything he worked on. I can't believe he's gone. And his wife, I know she's doing better, thank God. But I just want to just mention him and talk about him. He was at the CBOC with Cory, and when we opened the CBOC, and realized that it was the only VA. We soon realized it appeared to be the only VA facility in Jersey without in-person mental health services. So we urged the NJ, remember, together we urged the NJ VA health director to establish regular in-person psychiatric care in the Sussex Clinic. We got that done after working shoulder to shoulder with our local veterans and our advocates, and made that happen. But it unfortunately took too long and was really frustrating that it didn't get done. I'm going to keep working every single day to make sure we do everything we can. We'll have to keep cutting the bureaucracy and the red tape to make sure the New Jersey VA healthcare director and the community healthcare network and healthcare delivery system provides all of our veterans in Sussex and Warren County to get what they need. And we were able to actually get more services at Newton Image Care Center, much closer to home, instead of driving to East Orange for services like MRIs and mammograms and ultrasounds. I'm so glad today to be standing with all my colleagues and with Senator Booker to finally fight to get, as Mikie pointed out, a vet center to provide counseling services to Northwestern Jersey veterans. I mean, I'm hoping it's built in Sussex or Warren County. I know we're all going to duke it out, but at the end of the day, what matters most, frankly, is that it's in our area and that our veterans can access it and it's close enough to home. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day, to make sure that we provide the services to everybody and we expand the services that we need. And so I'm going to keep working on it. I'm just so grateful to all of you for your work, and to the senators and our local officials for what you're doing to advocate for this as well. So thank you, and I really appreciate you having me today.
Thank you, Congressman. Our next speaker is someone that our office, Catholic Charities at Hope House, has worked with. He's been, his office has been active in our HIV programs. They've attended our stakeholder group. And one thing especially moves me about him. It seems that, he introduced legislation to better support veterans' mental health. It's kind of why we're here today. And I believe that passed in September. He's also a partner with a lot of our partners down in Union County. And with that, I'm going to give you the Congressman from New Jersey's 7th District, Tom Malinowski.
Thank you, Dave. Hey, hello, everybody. It's great to be here with you. My very, very great thanks to Senator Booker, to Congresswoman Sherrill, my colleague, Josh Gottheimer, who you just heard from, and SOS Vets. I'd just like to hit on two aspects of this, if I may. Number one, getting access to VA services for vets in rural areas of our state. I represent significant rural parts of New Jersey in the 7th District, and then just the human touch element of the vet centers. So on rural access, this is a consistent theme that I've been hearing from VSOs and vets in my district from the very beginning. Just as one example, in Hunterdon County, it takes about an hour, depending on where you live, to get to Lyons VA Hospital. After years of efforts from VFW and from others, they got the VA to contract with an urgent care center so that vets can get to a facility closer to home, and VA handles the paperwork and charges, et cetera, as if they were at a VA facility. So that was a huge victory for my constituents, thanks to your advocacy. And when it comes to mental health and counseling, transition issues, we know that accessibility is even more of a correlated factor with whether people reach out and get the preventative help that they need. The cost to their own mental health is so much higher, so to speak, if that's put off getting the care that they need. And accessibility is a key factor. And then on the human touch, I really want to thank Dave Cathcart here again for helping to draw our attention to the gap in rural New Jersey and the difficulties reaching a vet center for our vets out there. These facilities they're important precisely because they're not a 1-800 number. It's people that you can talk to face to face in a normal year, at least. We can all understand this after a year and more of these kinds of Zoom meetings. Studies that we've all seen consistently show that the face-to-face contact is required, not recommended, but required for building real trust, and the trust is a prerequisite for effective counseling. But even before COVID dealt us this period of tough isolation, programs with human touch were already a top request from veterans in my district. They asked for more funding for peer mentoring, peer outreach programs, and so forth. In addressing mental health, homelessness, substance abuse issues, the VSOs in my district said they found a direct human connection was making the most difference for our vets. So I prioritized having the committee support these kinds of programs, and they were prioritized, as we heard, in that big Scott Hannon Mental Health Act that was enacted into law this January. So bottom line, I believe in the human touch approach. The vets in my district do as well. And so I think we're seeing that the model that the vet centers propose is absolutely the way of the future. 2020 amplified the need and our plea, but our vets are clearly asking for a human connection as they face some of life's unexpected challenges. So let's make sure that we continue to do our part to get them that. Thank you again so much for having me and for the wonderful work that you all do.